This video is going to be on competitive school boards. I'm going to target about 10 minutes on this video. I have other videos, 1 minute or too long, 2 minute or so, and we went through this kind of quickly. So I want to go through every bullet point on this. It's a new school choice idea called competitive school boards, where within every state, so let's just focus on Virginia, that's where I am, we'll have 12 statewide school boards. Every parent selects which one that they want based off their school philosophy, educational philosophy. So liberals might join together, conservatives might join together, libertarians might join together. But with 12, it's not going to be just those characteristics. It's going to be a lot of different characteristics. Some is going to focus on more music based. Some might focus on more sports based. Some might be more mathematic based. A lot of them is just going to be straight down the line normal public school systems. Others going to venture into more religious mode, where one has to stay secular and the rest can bring religion in as an atmosphere or environment as you learn your academics. Academics have to be taught. There's a system for everything. There's a lot of bullet points, some parameters around this, so it's not a free for all. But anyway, let's go through this, and we'll catch all the points as we go through the bullet points. But the idea is, once you have a dozen statewide in the full state of Virginia, they will have schools all throughout the region, all throughout the full state. And then you go to the school that your school board tells you to go to, or you decide on. So you choose what school board based off those. Some's going to let you have a significant choice within that system. So let's keep on going. Every parent selects from roughly a dozen different school boards. Then I'll get to it. I want to keep on doing all the caveats, but we'll get to it. Every state will create about a dozen statewide school boards. So we're not talking about one school board over in Northern Virginia, one in Southwest Virginia, one in the Hampton Roads area. No, all of them are statewide. Natural divisions in educational philosophy will occur among school boards. Again, whether it's liberal, conservative, anti-American rhetoric, which is way too common out there, versus pro-American rhetoric, which sometimes can go overboard as well, will occur among school boards. All these natural divisions can occur. So we talked about that. There'll be a local component in every locality, so that will happen as well. Parents select their school boards based off of a lot of different issues. There's a lot of different things that people can, the parents will select their school boards on. And in some ways, the child's going to be select too. The older the child is, getting into their, especially the 16 and 17-year-old, they're going to have a lot more say in it because it is their life. Okay, parents select their school board. And when they select their school board, they become members of that school board, and then they will elect your school board leadership within their membership. So if you go with a Republican Party or the Democrat Party or the Libertarian Party, or more the Jewish faith, or more the Protestant faith, or the Catholic faith, or whatever the case may be, you can do that. And within that membership, people who select that school board, they vote for their leadership just within their school board. So you can't vote on all the different school boards. You vote just on the one that you select. Therefore, people are going to join together based off a lot of philosophies, and then they get to elect their leadership, not based off philosophy anymore, because that's already pretty much settled, based off of productivity, efficiencies, experience, how well you can do what you say you want to do. So you can further define educational philosophy, yes, but more at that point, you're going to be how efficient you are, how effective you are, how good of a business manager you are, and still keeping within that educational philosophy. Every person's going to have a specialty, staying within the philosophy versus running the business of the school system. Every school board sets its own teacher standards and hires its own staff. Um, so important to understand that. Nobody gets us assigned to anything. The school board gets to decide. And I want to get rid of all labor law, regardless. It's just teachers don't try to get hired on to a school board that's not going to treat you well. So that's a whole nother subject. But I don't want I don't want labor laws to get in the way of effectively and productively good business models doing things, because a lot of times it does. I can understand a lot of business models where maybe you bring the parent in for a certain number of hours and that defrays a lot of the cost, but you're not paying that parent because you're defraying the cost of the education. There's a lot of business models out there. So let's not have labor laws get in the way of that. And again, if you don't want to join, it's two-sided agreement. Nobody's going to force you to be a teacher in a way that you don't want to be done. Every school board sets its own policies on all the controversial subjects. A couple of them are sex ed, the CRT, critical race theory, discipline, how you want to do that, mask, vaccine mandates, among other controversial subjects. What's in the library is a big topic these days, and it's unbelievable that it is. But it's understandable that it is. It's just unbelievable that it gets to the degree that it is. How disgusting some of the books are that's in there. Every school board sets its own educational goals and policies. Highly important. Every school board would set its own standards for the length of the school year. Right now, what is it, 180 days? And for the length of the school day, 6 hours or so? And all policies are up for change. If you want 2 days a week school, you can do that. There's homeschool co-ops that do that. And the rest of the week that you're at home. Maybe you want to do a lot more video so you can be more productive and lower the cost. Where you have certain classroom time and then the rest of them are videos. Obviously, the higher grades can do that a lot more. Lower grades, you don't want to do that as much. You need a lot more individual time with the children. So there's a lot of policies. If you don't like anything I said, go with the school board that doesn't do what I just said, and can do what you would like. I pretty much did all those bullet points there. At least one school board will have to remain secular. No doubt about it. We don't want anybody to be forced to do religion, but we also don't want people to be forced to do secular. That's an imposition as well. That is a very wrong thing to do. Is 85% of the children are in a public school system where they are mandated to do secular. You cannot be neutral. There is no neutral. There's always a policy. There's always a philosophy being taught. You can't just teach quote unquote facts. There will be a philosophy intertwined with all that, and nobody wants to be totally neutral anyway. You want good taught. You don't want evil taught. We don't want racism taught. We want not racism taught. We don't want to teach that theft is good. Obviously, we won't teach that theft is bad. Now, there's going to be a small percentage of people who don't like even that. Let them join together, because otherwise they're going to win on a lot of these school boards, and they're going to force teaching racism and teaching a lot of these other things. Like too often they do win on that, and they do teach racism or and the like. So at least one will remain secular. Others will have the freedom to have religious environment in the students' academics. Now, what does that mean? How far does that go? Obviously, there's going to be some limitations. You have to learn the academics. And then it's pretty much, as long as it's the religious environment, if you want to learn reading by reading the books of the Bible, fine. Or other religious texts, fine. But we shouldn't be banned from that either. But everybody should have a secular option, just because we can't have it not. The entire college system can follow a similar structure. Right now, I'm really taking this towards K through 12, but there's nothing saying the college can't do almost exactly what I'm doing right here. K through 12 and the college boards would create its own degrees and licensing boards. Obviously, you're going to have, after a while, you're going to have the understanding that certain school boards degrees are not going to be worth too much, and other degrees are going to mean a lot. That means that somebody's really did a lot. The rating system is going to tell you a lot of this. That's my next bullet point here. A competitive rating system would address low academic achievement, abuse, corruption, and just give you information from a wide variety of perspectives. So that's highly important. Almost every concern with this structure, and I already know that anybody who listens to this, they're going to come up with 1,000 reasons why this can't work. The solution to every one of those problems is your selected school board, the one you join, they will solve all those issues. School boards across the state and across the nation already deal with every one of these issues. They deal with religious issues, they deal with discipline issues, they deal with all the different issues. And they can deal with all the issues that come about within the system. There's nothing they can't deal with. They can deal with the budget, they can deal with discipline, they can deal with policies, they can deal with buses, they can deal with everything. They already do in the current system. Might be a little bit different challenges within the system, but you pick the school board that addresses the way that you want it dealt with. If they don't deal with it well, you can change school boards. If they get too religious in one school board, you can switch to another. If they get too secular in one, you can switch to another. If they discipline your children the way you don't want, go to another. Every school board receives its percentage of education budget, classrooms, and other assets based on its share of students. So if you have 12% of the students that select your school board across the whole state, you get 12% of the budget. You get 12% of the classrooms. You get 12% of the buses. You get 12% of the assets. So if you have 5%, you get 5%. Now, there's it's going to be dynamic. Some are going to take full schools. Some are going to take, I'll take 10 classrooms in this school and 10 classrooms in the next one. That's what I need. So some's going to take full buildings. Some's going to take classrooms and they'll share. So you might have two similar school boards that have similar, but they want to do certain things differently, and they're joined together in a school. Maybe you have 5 to 10 school boards in one building. That can happen. You can have one school over across many buildings. That can happen as well. Sports are going to have solve their own problems. The school boards will solve the sports issue. Okay, let's keep on going with some of these. School boards may charge their members extra. So they have members, they can charge them extra. So they say the schools aren't getting enough budget. We want lower teacher to student ratios. That's fine. You can charge your members extra, and have a payment system for that. And tax, fees, however you want to do it. Student loans even, however you want to do it. Or they can economize. They can say 3 days a week school for half the students, and the alternate 3 days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday for some students, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday for the other students. We economize and we get the price down, let's say 40%, 30 or 40%, because you have the same number of students in the same number of classrooms, but double the number of students because you're doing it every other day. Obviously, you're not going to go 50% probably, because you still have to manage what they do at home. So there's a lot of different dynamics in there. But if you want to economize, you can take that savings, deposit money into a student's educational account for their future, for college and the like. Once established, the school boards may decide to forego education funding from the state, in exchange have their members exempt from the education tax. So basically what I want to do is start it off with this regular state funding, local funding per student, but eventually I want every school board to start being on their own financially. Long-term student loans. Right now, people are paying tax. They get their education first, K through 12, and then for the rest of the life, they pay the education tax and the real estate tax and the other state sales taxes and the different things, state income tax, all the different taxes. Instead of having now, those will have to go away if you're disassociating from the state. One school board is disassociating from the state with getting income. They don't have to pay the taxes, so their members don't have to pay the taxes. So that's going to have to be more defined. This is education tax. That's not education tax. This is a tax for police. This is a tax for education. So you're exempt from the education tax, not the police tax. Okay. So basically, I want us to have a start to separation. We want to start the system first, so that can be done, and then we'll go into another system. Everything can be found on Haley2024.org. A lot of other videos out there. Until the next video.